Hello everybody and welcome to the weekly update video for OSRS. Now this week we have whole 76 improvements. It's basically a quality of life kind of a thing going on. And there's actually the Kickstarter update, so there's something about that going on too. So the next batch of Pole 76 has arrived in the game. So first they're kicking things with the Hellhounds, who now dropped the Ensouled Heads. They're worth 1200 prayer XP, which is rather nice. So, XP each and slot neatly into the expert tier of reanimation. So any reanimated Hellhounds you kill will work for both Slayer Task and Soul Bearer. So keep that in mind. Since Cerberus is technically a Hellhound, she can drop those as well. So keep that in mind when you go to do your boss fights. Smithing and jewelry crafting interfaces now remember the last item you crafted and outline it with a shiny highlight. This way, all you have to do is have the right materials in your backpack and you can press the space bar to craft it yet again. This way you don't have to keep re-selecting everything. Next up is the Fairy Ring, which has sprouted north of the Isle of Souls. And they say they'll let us figure out the code. My guess it's probably iOS. That's my guess. I don't know, but that's my guess. If I'm wrong, let me know. Speaking of Soul Wars, it is now playable in every world, and they made some changes to bring XP rates in line with what they promised in the original poll. So attack, defense, strength, and HP are now 30 XP per token, up from 24. Range and magic are 27 XP, up from 22. And prayer is now 14, up from 12. So, a little bit better. They added a buy X to the other tab in the Soul War reward shop. And NPCs in the fight caves are now visible at further distances, so good news if you are yet to get your fire cape. And there's also some Steam mobile client fixes. So there is kind of a weird way they have this, but we'll go through each of the fixes here. The Orb of Oculus now displays correctly. The darkness has been lifted. It was only an issue on Steam, which has been fixed. Multi-way combat icon no longer overlaps with the collapsed minimap, which was an Android and iOS issue, which has been fixed. Sorry, I'm trying to read how they have this laid out. This is very awkward. Entity highlights now work correctly in the Tears of Guthix minigame, fixed across the board. Players can no longer interact with the minimap through the XP tracker. Android and iOS fix, not an issue for Steam. Cleared private chat history will now remain cleared when logging back in, fixed across the board. Fairy rings are now highlighted by entity highlights across the board. Agility highlights now appear correctly when returning from a random event. Steam only issue, and it has been fixed. Fixed an entity highlights for player grown mahogany trees across the board. The HP Regen indicator now correctly updates when running out of prayer points with a rapid heal on across the board. Unused interface are no longer visible while target worlds across the board. And long tap delay settings now update visually after setting the new value, not on Steam, but fixed on Android and iOS. Otherwise, we have some other changes. So the Trover Parchment changes is, they say first up on this can now be used on the League's 3 versions of the Void Knight equipment, Dragon Defender's T, and Rune Defender's T. In terms of its behavior, if the item is locked, upon PvP death, the PK will receive the value of the Trover Parchment and the Ornamental Kit, and the regular version of the item will be returned to its owner. This occurs at all levels of the wilderness. If the item is not locked, on PvP death, a PK will receive a gold equivalent to the value of the item, minus the value of the ornament kit, and the ornament kit. At the wilderness level below 20, the owner will receive both the broken version and the original item. At the wilderness levels of above 20, the owner will receive nothing. And smaller changes, roofs on the tents of the Shizen Infirmary are now automatically hidden. They've also removed some environmental objects from around the tents to make it moving between them easier. Fix an issue that occurred when teleporting with items in the drag state. Items no longer drag or drift in the inventory when pre-selecting an item and moving it. Prayer books with League's 3 ornament kit will now appear with the model when preaching with them. The bigger and badder Slayer reward unlock no longer appears as pile in the reward interface. Charge Fair scepters are now a bit brighter. Diango no longer has a buy limit to Chronicle cards, so go wild. Temperance fishing spots no longer have holes in their click box, so go for it. Participants in the Guardians of the Rift are asked not to cast alchemy spells, so you got other issues to go on here. And that's it for the main updates. However, the RuneScape Kingdoms Shadow of Elberg, there is a bit of an announcement. So there is the Core Pledge. The Core Pledge is a 15-hour replayable campaign that comes with 16 detailed minis, including a noob NPC and the Colomancer himself, and over 400 cards. So, on top of that, you also get all the Kickstarter exclusive cards unlocked through the backer votes during the Kickstarter. Now, there is a gameplay all pledge in. So this is going to be, you get basically a bunch more. So this includes the sneak peek into the King Black Dragon and Tazkal Zuk minis in the image above. Plus additional minis including the Wise Old Man and other iconic NPCs. So this is for basically the next expansion. You'll be able to get that. Then there's the Deluxe All-In Pledge. So this is, you receive everything listed above. But it's also packed with all the gameplay content so far and all the deluxe upgrades. So, you get everything basically from above, but you also receive a neoprene game mat, 4 neoprene boss mats, wooden tokens, metal coins, and a set of special edition dice, all which are Kickstarter exclusive. So, if you really were into it, don't miss out. And there is a few more mini reveals, including Del Rith right here. And there's also the Dragon Knight, which actually looks pretty cool. And apparently there is also capes, but they don't have an image for that, which is kind of disappointing. But this is getting to be very interesting with that, so do check that out. Come May 31st, check it out. But that'll be it for today's video, guys, so thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, later, guys.